Psychology says the sleepless person in your mind is usually responsible for your happiness, pain, or both. Psychology says the saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemies. It comes from the people you trust the most. Psychology says, if you're not happy single, you won't be happy. Happiness comes from within, not from people. People think a soul mate is your perfect fit, and that's what everyone wants. But a true soul mate is a mirror, the person who shows you everything that is holding you back, the person who brings you to your own attention so you can change your life. Psychology says the best things in life are usually found when you are not looking for them. Smiles have been proven to be more attractive on a woman's face than makeup. Psychology says the more loving you are, the more painful it feels when a person fails to realize how much you care for them. Psychology says people usually leave because it's easier than working things out. People lie because sometimes it's easier than being honest. Studies show that if you announce your goals to others, you are less likely to make them happen because you lose motivation. A study concluded that spending money on others yields more happiness than spending it on yourself. Psychology says we seem to ignore the ones who adore us and pay more attention to those who ignore us. Psychology says couples who spend at least 10 minutes a day laughing together are more likely to have a stronger relationship. You can't multitask because your brain can only focus on one higher level function at a time. Psychology says if you have someone in your life that is abusive or causes you pain, don't try and reform them, just block them out of your life. 60% of people fear that they care about a person way more than that person cares about them. Psychology says men tend to forget but never forgive. Women forgive but never forget. Psychology says people who hide their feelings usually care the most. Psychology says sometimes you just say I'm fine because it's difficult to find someone who actually cares. When your mood goes from happy to sad, most of the time it's because you're missing someone. Psychology says one of the best ways to measure people is to watch the way they behave when something free is offered. Psychology says when you're ignored by someone whose attention means the most to you, the reaction in the brain is similar to physical pain. Psychology says women with higher IQs have a harder time finding a mate. Intelligent women would rather remain single than be with the wrong person. A study found that ignorant people are more likely to believe they're brilliant, while intelligent people underestimate their abilities. Psychology says laughter increases both physical and emotional pain tolerance. Overall, laughing more literally makes you a stronger person. Psychology says life becomes more meaningful when you realize the simple fact that you'll never get the same moment twice. Admit when you're wrong and shut up when you're right. This is the best way to drastically improve the quality of your relationships. 4 million wives were beaten by angry husbands in 2013. Attractive people are less likely to be convicted of a crime and more likely to get a shorter sentence. People under the influence of power act as if they had suffered a traumatic brain injury, becoming more impulsive, less risk-aware, and less adept at seeing things from other people's point of view. The most common emotion experienced in dreams is anxiety. Negative emotions are more common than positive ones. People are more likely to return a lost wallet if they find a baby picture inside of it. Through no fault of your own, a jealous person will always detest you. They covet your success, and when they can't have it, they'll simply hate you for it. The only way to deal with this is to be civil to them, otherwise they may do something vindictive. You really love him, her, right? Did I mention a name? No, I didn't. But still, you thought of that person. It's a typical psychological reaction. A person who hides their pie behind a smile is called an accidentous. If you have a more aggressive personality, then there's a good chance you may be at a higher risk for heart disease. Individuals with neurotic personalities are more likely to suffer from arthritis, ulcers, asthma, headaches, and heart disease. The sixth sense is another term for extrasensory perception. Extrasensory perception, ESP, would involve the reception of information not gained through the recognized senses and not internally originated. According to the National Science Foundation, extrasensory perception due to a genetic mutation, some women can see millions of more colors.